Hey there, friends. It's Cynthia. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful March day today, wherever you are. And thank you for tuning in here for episode 2 of Everyday Soul. It's the podcast about balancing real life and real growth. And man, we've been feeling it lately, huh? That real life coming in strong. And there's this sense of uncertainty and just an undercurrent of anxiety that can really throw you off your equilibrium. They say that change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And that is the focus of our podcast today. So stick around with me. It's going to be just you and me here, one-on-one, heart to heart. We're going to get down to it. Balancing life and everyday soul.
Yeah, everyday soul.
I want to just begin by sending out some prayers of love and support and protection to the entire world right now. And join me now in just closing your eyes and sending the energy of love right out there to each and every person on this planet now, that they may be healthy, that they may be protected. And in light of all of the effects of the virus, may they find peace. And that includes you and me, friends. Amen. So now let's just open our eyes, and it's worth mentioning that it is springtime, right? And it's the time of rebirth, the time of renewal, and it's the time for discovering new ways in which you want to live your life. And now that we're all stuck in our homes, we've got more time for this sort of thing, right? Now, everyone I know, and I talk to family, friends, clients, and everyone seems to be at a transition point, at a crossroads almost. And I see this even in the news. And it's like the world is going through this major schoolhouse opportunity now. And what are we going to do? How are we going to handle ourselves? How are we going to present ourselves? How are we going to grow? And if you're like me, you have found yourself at this crossroads before, at this place where you recognize that things are changing around you and that you're changing because you're recognizing that the external forces that surround you are many times outside of your control. And yet the thing that is hard to shake is the fear that we all experience when we don't have the answers, when we don't know what the outcome is going to be by virtue of our choices. And I found the cycles of life, no matter your age, if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, whatever your age, you're going through a brand new phase. You're entering in the beginning of it, you're in the middle of it, or perhaps you're wrapping something up, but you're always moving forward in life, unless you allow yourself to stay stuck in the same place. And that's the beauty of the journey of our souls. This is why we're here, to take that next step, to build a better planet, a better place to live in, to grow and evolve. And it's not something that's only for those of us who have the luxury of devoting our time every day. It's a matter of opening your mind and your calendar and finding new ways of discovering what you really are craving now. And I love that word craving when it's used in a positive sense because of coffee and white wine. So when I think about craving things that are good for me, that's when my heart is singing. That's when I'm feeling the best. And facing a new day and having to make new choices and decisions, the strongest and the best possible place you can begin is within. When you come into that trusting place, when you really just pause and listen to what your mind and your heart and your intuition is telling you, you can begin to understand things and not allow yourself to get caught up in this wave of confusion or fear. But we learn as we go, right? And it was in 2014 when I was in such a place. Our daughter, my husband and I have one daughter, and she went off to college that year. And as you know, when you've experienced an empty nest, it's like, wow, who am I married to? What's happening? Things are different now. And, if your marriage is strong, it's easier to adjust. And if your marriage isn't, it can really take a toll. So anyway, my husband and I, after a year of the transition, being just on our own, we decided that we were going to split up. It had been probably 2 months or so since we had physically separated. And I came home from a trip. I was back east visiting my family, and I came home, and every bit of his personal items in the closet and in the bathroom were gone. And I remember feeling for the first time that I was really alone. And that is something that has been, my greatest fear throughout my life. It's just the fear of being alone. And I remember I was just lost. I had just a moment of complete deflation, and I just went down on my hands and knees in the closet, in my bedroom closet, and I was just so low. I was crying and then saying something like, I can't do this. I can't be alone. I'm too afraid. And I don't know if it was my angels, my intuition, whatever it was. I'll never forget this moment. I heard a voice in my mind. It was in my soul. And this voice told me, yes, you can do this. You are going to be okay. And I'll never forget that moment of transition. That was the turning point for me, where I decided being scared and afraid wasn't worth any of the pain I was feeling right then and there. And I didn't want to hide in fear anymore. I decided to get up and make my life about growing myself to a point where I wasn't the victim and I wasn't blaming anybody or anything for my circumstances. I was practicing a lot of yoga at that time because I found that that was the only place where I could find peace. And many of you know who are yogis. Whenever you're on your yoga mat, you're breathing, you're quiet, you're in your body, you're in your mind, you're in your soul, and you have this tremendous opportunity to really check in with your internal world and what's going on inside you. And it was the beginning of me recognizing that my thoughts had been holding me hostage. And I know you're relating to this with so much new information coming into our lives every minute of every day. When I got quiet enough and still enough that I was able to notice the patterns of my thinking. And by noticing them is how you change them. A daily spiritual practice was making me feel calmer and more whole. And that is why thoughts are the most powerful thing that we need to tend to stay buoyant and strong. And that's also how prayer works, right? Prayer is a thought. It's a blessing that you send to another. The spiritual principles is what really helped me move forward. I went to work on fixing the thoughts in my head that I had outgrown, the patterns and the behaviors that were not serving me. And, my husband and I, we both grew during that time. We were apart. And I'm so glad we got back together. So anyway, yay for that. So good things happen when you decide to take control of your life. So maybe your spiritual practice includes yoga. Maybe it includes meditation. Maybe it includes discovering a hidden talent, something you've always loved and enjoyed, like art, photography, gardening, cooking. Maybe going back and studying something that has always fascinated you, but you didn't have time. These are all ways in which we develop our spiritual selves. And when you do that, you feed your soul. You come into this sense of harmony when you know that you have everything you need right there within you. And you know this because you've been tested and you've been challenged. And it was something that no one could tell you. You had to find out on your own. It's like having the ruby slippers, a spiritual practice, and having everything you need when you need it. And you had it all along. It's just you didn't recognize it then, but now you do because you have learned and you have grown. And that is why Good Witch Glenda withheld that valuable information to Dorothy. Come on now. When she could have been home a lot easier and a lot faster, right? Even Dorothy had to learn her soul lessons on her own. And we don't really learn anything, do we, unless we experience it. And yes, there are struggles. And there are restrictions placed on us living a real life. At those times, that is your priority. But I guarantee with a spiritual practice, a daily practice, is the surest way to be able to be strong enough and to be there for yourself and for others during these times. You know, I love it when I meet somebody and and you know it too, you see and sense it when somebody is just so good. And maybe it's the plumber that comes over to your house and he's in there down on his knees looking at your toilet and talking to you in a way that you just know that he has something special within him. He's got this positive pureness. And I see this in so many people and I think, oh my gosh, you're such a gift to this world. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to live my life, is that gift, no matter what my station, my age, my occupation, whatever I call myself, it doesn't matter. I want to be that light. And the spiritual energy of the universe, God's source, whoever it is that you believe is in this powerful space. This is what I want to bring and to share with you today. And our journeys are never just about us. So that is why Equilibrium by Cynthia is my solution. But there's something for you. You are needed in this world to be the best you can be so you can share your beautiful self with all of us. And I know it can be overwhelming, but don't give up. Just say to yourself, I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to shake things up. Maybe it's just something that's just as simple as powering down your computer and just going outside, taking a walk, moving your body, whatever it is. And maybe it's just something that's a little baby step that's going to get you to that next step. And then the next, and all the while feeding you and allowing you to have a little peace. And I'd like to share with you now just one last thing that's been a powerful resource for me on the journey. Meditation with divine light. Divine light is simply the spiritual energy that is all around us. It's in us, each of us. And no matter your religious or non-religious beliefs, it's just this power that is beyond you and me, this eternal life force energy that is here to support us all. So let's close our eyes now and come into this space and a spiritual moment and take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in and out evenly and slowly. And feeling your body now, releasing any tension in your face, your neck, and sitting tall but being relaxed as you settle back into your chair. And then asking now to be encircled and surrounded in a golden bubble of light to protect you as you raise your consciousness now and envision this beautiful golden sun that is about 24 inches above your head. This is your higher self. This is your true nature, the part of you that is always in the light. Just envision this pure white light coming into that space. Bursts of light now coming there. And as your attention is in this place, allowing your earthly cares, your worries to just slip away. And now envisioning that beautiful white light and asking for the light now to come into your mind right there. in your forehead. And letting this white light open and expand your mind by releasing any limiting thoughts, negative thoughts, or repetitive thoughts that are not for your greater good or for the good of others. And actually feel the light now as it opens up the space between your ears and fills you with this upliftment and a sense of possibility and openness. And then allow the light to flow down right there into your throat so that the words and the power of your words are blessed in this pure white light. And may the inspiration and guidance that is being received with this spiritual energy come in through your ears. May you hear the words. May you see them and speak them to yourself and others. And then asking the light now to come into your heart center right there, into the deepest place of your very soul, the Holy of Holies, as we call it. And feel this now in your soul's expression, asking this white light to illuminate and shine, to attune and center you on the path and the paths that you are meant to be taking. And let the white light just be your guide as you feel it opening up areas of your destiny, your relationships, your health, allowing it to clear away any blockages, any ties to the past, and letting this freedom come in now, knowing that you are being guided. And now we ask for this light to bless us in the emotional center right here at the belly button, and placing your hand right there and asking the light to flow there, to uplift center and attune you to the intuition, the divine trusting place that you have within you that knows what is right. And this is a flash, a connection, a feeling, a perception that you have. And asking this white light to allow you to recognize those flashes of intuition and to act on them. And now we ask for this white light that we have been blessed to receive. We ask that it be anchored, sealed, and protected in our spiritual being, so that we may now actively go out into the world with this positive energy. And as we walk our earthly path of living life and taking care of business, we know that we also carry within us this gift of connection to all there is. And we thank thee that this is so, and so shall it ever be. So be it. And then take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes and notice how you feel different. And you're ready to take on the day with your spiritual armor and your everyday soul.
Yeah, everyday soul.
Our Everyday Soul music was written and performed by the talented Reese Taylor. For more information on Reese's music, check out the description box below.